Hello, I'm Anastasia Lavrina. This is Inside Politics, and today we are diving into the heart of the South Caucasus, Baku, Azerbaijan. On May 29th, the city became the center of intense diplomatic focus as senior US officials arrived to strengthen ties and discuss key regional issues. The American delegation is in town for high-level talks, emphasizing the US commitment to peace, security, and energy cooperation. But why now? What's behind this surge of American interest in Azerbaijan? Is it just a diplomatic mission, or is there something more? The United States has made it clear Azerbaijan is crucial in the evolving geopolitics of the region. It's about energy, regional stability, and above all, peace. The Southern Gas Corridor, a multi-billion-dollar project that cuts through Azerbaijan, has become a cornerstone of American strategy. It's not just about energy, it's about securing alternative routes, diversifying Europe's energy supply, and shifting the balance of power in Eurasia. But there is more. This is not just about energy, it's about positioning Azerbaijan as a key player in the region's future, one that will influence security and economic dynamics for decades to come. So what are the real interests behind this growing United States-Azerbaijan partnership? What's at stake for both sides? And who stands to win or lose as the peace process moves forward? And now we are joined by Mr. Samet Saidov, Azerbaijani Member of Parliament and Chairman of International and Interparliamentary Relations Committee, to shed light on the diplomatic, security and economic implications of these developments. Mr. Saidov, warm welcome to Inside Politics.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Thank you very much.
Nice to see you.
It's a pleasure for us to host you today. And let me start with a question. What do you think is driving this renewed focus of the country from Washington at this particular moment?
Anastasia, we always have had a strategic character of our relations with the United States of America. But now time has come to think about the future of our relationships and future of our common general relations, because new reality has come to the region, and not only to our region. New reality has come, and new reality has come to the United States of America. And now we, as a regional power, we are very important, not only from the point of view energy, but generally from the geopolitical point of view. If our European partners or American partners are in favor to have established links with, for example, Central Asia, they have to communicate with Azerbaijan. They have to establish our relationship, their relationship with Azerbaijan. And especially now when international relations are in crisis. Situation is really very unpredictable. But Azerbaijan is very predictable with its policy, attitudes, deeds, and etc. And that's why from this point of view, this is exactly in the interest of the United States of America to come to the region and to communicate with the regional power, with a stable country, with a very predictable country, and with the country with whom they had and they have normal and strategic relationship. We very well remember our joint efforts in Afghanistan, in Iraq, our soldiers shoulder to shoulder fighting against evil, against terror. But unfortunately, during the period of time of Biden administration, our relations had been ruined. I'm not afraid to use this word, only because of one reason, because the Biden administration took sides. They did what is unacceptable for mediator. And now, as I said, situation within the United States of America has changed, and I think they are coming to the right track. they are able to understand that position of Azerbaijan is a very open and very sincere.
Yes, indeed, Mr.
We
Sidov,
want and we are in favor to have normal, mutually beneficial relations with the United States of America.
we do see some changes since Trump's administration came to power. Indeed, the relations between two countries were somehow frozen during the Biden administration. But despite all of those difficulties, the United States has always supported the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan. And now, during these meetings, official high talks, still the peace between Armenia and Azerbaijan prevails. Therefore, how do you think, is the United States truly interested in the peace in the South Caucasus, or is Azerbaijan just a strategic pawn in a larger geopolitical game?
I think everybody should be in a position to see at the end of the story the peaceful deal between Azerbaijan and Armenia, because we are in favor to see this peace. And we actually have done a lot for this peace. That was our initiative to propose peace to Armenia after the war. I hope that we will be able, together with Armenians, to do serious steps in this direction. As you know, unfortunately, we have some problematic issues or some preconditions or obstacles. You know, I'm talking about so-called Minsk Group and amendments to the Constitution of Armenia. I hope they will be able to find the solution of this problem. But at the end of the story, I think everybody is in favor to see peace, and first of all, Azerbaijan and Armenia. Azerbaijan is a country which suffered a lot from this war. And now, of course, that would be not so easy, because Azerbaijan is an independent country, and Azerbaijan is doing its best for a peaceful deal with Armenia. But Armenia is not so independent. That's a problem. And that's why if we are able to present so sincere and open position, Armenia is a little bit vulnerable from this point of view. They are thinking that they can sit at the same time at both chairs, if I may say like that, but that's not so easy like it seems.
But don't you think that the United States is trying to counter Russia and Iran by strengthening ties in the region with Azerbaijan?
Frankly speaking, Anastasia, that's an excellent question. The policy, the policy which we are doing in the region is not against somebody or something. That's essential one. And we try to do our best with our immediate neighbors to establish mutually beneficial relationship, economic cooperation, and we are thinking about prosperity of all our nations. And we don't want to be used by someone. And that's an essential. If any regional or world power is going to come to the region, they should take into account this approach. They should take into account that within the region there is a regional power, strong power, very influential power which thinks about peace and prosperity in the region. And that's why if anybody, doesn't matter big, small, is going to come to the region, they should take into consideration these realities. And these realities is absolutely different than it was before. Today, Azerbaijan is a crucial country in the region in order to establish peace and communication with the rest of the regions and countries in this area, with Central Asia, with other South Caucasian republics, and with, including with Russia, Iran, and Turkey. From this point of view, I think this is really very important to take into account that United States of America as a global player, of course, is in favor to be here, but we are not ready just to see some interventions, some attempts to show who is a master in the region. That's enough for us. If the United States of America is coming with sincere, open, and really constructive approach, which we have seen actually before Biden administration, which was so important during the period of time of our independence, which was so valuable for us during the period when we signed the contract of the century, when the United States of America was so great in favor of all initiatives which came from Azerbaijan. If the United States of America is coming with this approach, that's great and that's very welcome. And I think we can see really new developments and new signs from American policy, and that's very promising.
But again, coming back to the situation between Azerbaijan and Armenia, within the last year it was more bilateral talks between the leaders of two countries to achieve the desired results. So do you expect any particular outcomes from this visit of the American delegation to Azerbaijan for the future negotiations? Or for Azerbaijan, it's more about direct talks between Armenia and Azerbaijan without any outside intervention?
Our position is bilateral negotiations with Armenia. And actually, we have done a lot in this direction. As you know, we have already agreed about delimitation and demarcation of the part of the border between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Both in Armenia and in Azerbaijan, special commissions have been created and they are very active. And the process is going on in the right direction, and we can see a lot of promising signs from both commissions about that. We are not against somebody or something. We don't want to see interventions. We don't want to see if somebody is going to take sides, because we have seen this. We have seen during the Biden administration when they took sides, or another co-chairman of the so-called Minsk group, France, also took sides. And that's why this is unacceptable when during the negotiations between two sides, somebody is interfering and try to create more obstacles and headaches than both sides had. And that's why we, of course, in favor to have direct negotiations with Armenia. But if anybody is going to help, is going to advise without interfering into the process, they are very welcome. The peace is in favor for everybody. Everybody is in favor to see peace in the region, but direct negotiation between Armenia and Azerbaijan, I think, is preferable.
Well, one of the key questions, how Azerbaijan's long-term security interests truly aligned with the West? We do know about the intentions of the United States to have its own presence in the region because of Russia, Ukraine, Iran, as we already discussed. So do you expect Azerbaijan to have a specific approach to this new geopolitical reality we see on the global stage?
We already have this influence. We already, different states, as at the very beginning I have already said, that Azerbaijan is a regional power. And if we are a regional power, those who are thinking about, in any case, to interfere into the region, they would change their attitudes toward the region, or they have to withdraw their influence from the region. Only two choices. And if we are already a regional power, they should take into consideration this reality. Not only United States of America, all other states, including Iran, Russia, and other players in this area. And that's why the reality is absolutely different. The day before yesterday, the trilateral meeting between the President of Azerbaijan, President of Turkey, and Prime Minister of Pakistan is a vivid example of that. That now we have absolutely a new face of the region, where not only Azerbaijan, but along with Azerbaijan, other major countries from this region are together.
You mentioned Turkey, and that's indeed very interesting since the new developments in Syria, when even since the time of new US administration is taking power, many experts predicted the rapprochement between Turkey and the United States of America. Doesn't matter whether it comes to the situation in the Middle East, Syria, the South Caucasus. So now we also see this new reality, establishment of new type of relations between Ankara and Washington, right?
Yes, we can see new development, and we can see that the situation in Syria completely changed. And we already congratulated our brothers from Turkey. And I think this is also very, very important to take into consideration that a new reality we can see not only within our area, but in the Middle East. And from this point of view, I agree with you that relations between Turkey and the United States and the United States of America in nearest future will be much more closer than it was before.
And one last question I have before we finalize our today's conversation. Next week will be very important in the field of energy. Do you think Azerbaijan has its particular expectations from the future energy partnership between the companies in Azerbaijan and the United States?
I think yes, because at the very beginning of our independence, in 1994, during the period of time when we signed the contract of the century, we had opened the door of the region to the West, to the Western companies. And together with Western companies, especially with oil companies from the United States of America, we did a lot. We changed the realities in the region. And I hope that we will be able in nearest future much more, because we are different. Now we are as an independent country, as a strong country which can think about the future and real national interests, and a country which are doing so great job for peace in the region. Of course, we are in favor to see more foreign and American companies in the region, but again, for mutual cooperation, understanding, and absolutely open and sincere approach.
Well, Mr. Saidov, thank you so much for joining Inside Politics today.
Thank you.
And that's all what we have for today on Inside Politics. As we have seen, Azerbaijan's strategic importance is only growing, not just as a key player in the energy sector, but as a critical partner in promoting peace and stability in the South Caucasus and far beyond. The stakes are high, and the next few years will undoubtedly shape the future of this vital region. Will the US-Azerbaijan partnership continue to thrive? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear, the South Caucasus is no longer just a crossroads, it's an intersection of global power plays. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Anastasia Lavrina, and this was Inside Politics. We'll see you next time for more in-depth analysis and the stories shaping our world.